Hello friends, welcome to Dr. Osman's EduTrends, swinging into educational trends. Today we will be talking about quality control and quality assurance, manufacturing operations and control, part 1. The following will be the main topics of discussions like sanitation, manufacturing premises, mix-up and cross-contamination, processing of intermediate and bulk products, packaging operations, IPQC in manufacturing and packaging, release of finished product, process deviation, charge in of components, time limitations on production, drug product inspection, expiration dating, and calculation of yield. Now, as we all are aware that good manufacturing practices are the main guidelines which we need to follow and which are currently acceptable, and that has to be implemented, and whatever the guidelines have been given has to be implemented during all manufacturing operations and their control. And we know that identity, purity, safety, strength, everything is interconnected, and that has to be strengthened by taking the guidelines of good manufacturing practices. Now, if we directly come to the sanitation of manufacturing processes, we all are aware that there is a lot of, containments of dust, debris and waste in the containers. So we need to see that the containers for collection of dust, debris and waste to be procured, and they are supposed to be cleaned with detergents, and the disinfection process should be going on. If we take specifically the tablet manufacturing area as an example, we need to clean the powder spillage with wet floor mop. Then after completion of work, clean floor with disinfectant solution, especially 1% volume by volume Lysol solution. Then glass pieces and other solid materials, if any, are collected in dustbin. And at the end of the day, floor clean with 0.1% volume by volume of T-Pol solution. That again will followed by the disinfection with 1% volume by volume Lysol solution. All the glass planes should be cleaned with 70% alcohol. Now, if you talk about the mix-up and cross-contamination, mix-up like presence of undesired material into the desired material, and they can be visibly seen. Like example, cartons of one product into another. And if we talk about the contamination, we can see that there is a lot of presence of some material where it is not desired and may not always be seen. They cannot be seen with naked eye. Like for example, fine dust of one product into another. Now, let us try to interpret like how this contamination comes into. Like if we see the materials or the areas or the people from where this contamination comes, like either it could have came from materials, either it could be from the areas, or it could be from the people who are coming and going, or it could be due to the machines and equipments. Now, what are the steps to be taken to control the mix-up and cross-contamination? First of all, we need to see that the exhaust system should be there with proper air filtration and dust collection. There should be separate air handling unit. There should be air pressure. There should be maintenance of air pressure that to be between 10 to 15 pascals or differential pressures. Then there should be a well segregated packaging line, that is 1.5 to 1.5 meter. A standard operating procedure and record should be maintained for line clearance. That is very important. Now, if we see how should we train the people to do this job, to see that everything is intact and everything is properly followed. The people should be trained in their jobs and also in the principle of good manufacturing practices, because they should be known about the guidelines and they should be known about all the things whatever are. The correct discipline procedures and good manufacturing processes will help in avoiding cross-contamination and mix-up. There should be production training as well as the equipment handling, because that is very important. Now let us see what are the technical measures to be adopted here. The production in segregated area should be clearly understood, identified, and it should be provided appropriately with airlocks, pressure differentials and air extractions. There should be avoidance of re-entry of untreated air, and the people who are working there should wear protective clothing, and the use, validating, cleaning and decontamination procedures should be followed there. And the equipment should be used, and always use clean equipments. Now let us all have a glance on processing of intermediate and bulk products. How this intermediate and bulk products are processed in manufacturing operations and controls, the raw materials whichever are coming from should be checked for identity and quantity. The area should be clean, and as well as the equipments whatever is being used are supposed to be clean. Environmental conditions must meet processing requirement. The containers are supposed to be cleaned, and materials supposed to be checked for yields. And well connected, cleaned and sanitized pipelines and other transportation equipment should be used. Regularly calibrated instruments supposed to be used in processing. Like every time whenever you're using the instrument, that's supposed to be calibrated next time. And always there should be IPQC checks to maintain the proper cleanliness and sanitization. Entry should be restricted only to the authorized person. Like sometimes many people comes and go, and some people are not authorized. So authorized person should come in, and the entry should be restricted to only those who are related to the project. Now let us have a glance on packaging operations. How this can be done. Here you have to avoid the risk of contamination and mix up. There should always be line clearance. There should be fixed bore on packaging equipment. That is very important. And overprinting should be carefully planned. Sometimes overprinting is not being planned carefully and it happens again and again. So that should be carefully planned. Online verification by automated electronic beam is very important to maintain the integrity. Empty pocket detection system for capsule should always be done because to avoid improper packing. Unused batch coding packaging material should be destroyed and recorded. So it is very important because whatever the unused packaging material is there, that should not be kept again. So that may be again a source of contamination. So you have to destroy them and you have to record it how much unused packaging materials has been destroyed. Now all of you, let us have a glance in process quality control. Now we have manufacturing operations and packaging operations. So let us see what things we will be doing in how to control. So for manufacturing operations, we need to see the assay moisture and angle of repose. That is very important. Then bulk density of granulated material should be checked. Physical parameters, especially for tablets, supposed to be checked. The pH of solution before filling are supposed to be checked and see that the proper pH is being maintained. And bulk volume of liquids is very important, and whatever the environmental conditions are there that are supposed to be taken into consideration. And for packaging operation, packaging line should be continuously monitored. Automated control should be checked and validated. The online control, whatever the online controls are there, the online control should be checking the following things like general appearance of the package, the completeness of the package, correctness of material and environmental conditions. So these four things are very important in terms of online control. Now when the product is ready, we need to see that the product should be released. So first of all, whenever we are releasing the finished product, we must see that they're supposed to be according to the guidelines. So finished product must be placed in quarantine. You have to keep them for some days in quarantine, and documentation should be completed and sent for complete documentation audit by quality assurance department. So quality assurance department will come and see whether the things have been done according to the guidelines or not. Right? When all the required parameters are satisfied, the quality control department may recommend the release of product from quarantine. The finished product release for sale by authorized person from QA department. It is very important to see that the finished product release should be from the authorized person from quality assurance department. So without any authority or without the consent of authorized person from QA department, finished product release should not happen. That should be taken into consideration. Now next we have is process deviation. So for this process deviation, it is defined as variation in production and other process from predefined procedures. So the process deviation should be avoided, as if exceptionally required, then it must be justified and properly authorized. So frequently occurring deviations can happen and they are fully investigated. Action is taken for correction. So there are many frequently occurring deviations, but they are supposed to be fully investigated and actions are taken for any corrections. Example, we have weight uniformity in tablet, and we can see that there are two tablets weighing differently with 684.2 and 671.2. So you can see the percentage deviation in first tablet, it's 0.04%, whereas in second tablet is so minus 1.86%, and there should be no frequent process deviation, right? And now we have process variation. So in relations to deviation with batch X of product Y 120 mg tablet, which involves a problem with the powder flow ability during blending. So in relation to flowability issue, no potential causes were investigated or identified. So we can see in process variation, what happened is there will be some deviation in the process variation because there was a problem with the powder flow ability during blending. So here it's a flowability issue. So there will be no potential causes. So these matter will not be investigated or identified. Now let us see how the charging of components goes on. The charging of components is an activity to confirm the things during addition of each ingredient. Now whenever this is done, each batch is formulated with intent to provide not less than 100% of ingredient. If not less than, adjust accordingly. And before addition, the ingredient should be weighed and it should be measured appropriately. And whatever activities are being done, all activities should be adequately supervised and examined by the second person. Now, time limitation of production. So manufacturing process should be completed in specific time to meet the deadline. So it should be as minimum as possible because much time should not be taken. And if process involves number of stages, then there should be a time lapse between the two consecutive stages. And holding of product at intermediate for abnormal long period will have certain potential dangers. So as we naturally understand that we should not hold any product on any stage for a long time. Otherwise it will lead to potential danger to the quality of the drug. Now here comes the drug product inspection. So inspection at various stages is done by IPQC or IPQA section or departments under quality management groups. These systems suggest three things: that the product shall be examined during finishing operations to assure correct labels. That is very important because incorrect label will gives a lot of problems. So whenever the product are in the finishing stages, then that is being seen that there is a correct label. And a representative sample collected at a completion of finishing operation and visually examined for correct labeling. So what is happening is a representative sample should be submitted or is collected to visually examine the correct labeling. Now whatever the results are there, that shall be recorded in batch production and control record. Now if we talk about the expiration date, shelf life of product should be determined on basis of stability studies. So stability studies, whichever is being done before, on that basis the shelf life is decided or determined. Expiration date related to any storage condition should not be stated on label. That is very important because any storage condition is not actually the shelf life. The shelf life is purely based on the stability studies. So that should be taken into consideration or that should be kept in mind. If specifically, if any drug is reconstituted product, then its label should include expiration for both reconstituted and unconstituted product. That should be clearly mentioned there, right? So after that, we will be talking about the calculation of yield, how we are calculating the yield. Actual yield and theoretical yield shall be determined at each appropriate phase of manufacturing, processing, packaging and holding. So as we all are aware, percentage yield is calculated by the formula actual yield by theoretical yield into 100%. So it is performed only by one person and independently verified by the second person. So any deviation observed here, that should be recorded and investigated to find out why that has happened. Now if any deviation in yield is observed, then we need to find out. Like for example, we have an example here, batch 123 of product X, 100 mg capsules. They are involved significantly low yield at the end of encapsulation process, like 83%, and limits are between 96% to 101%. The deviation was incorrect. The batch was out of compliance with its marketing authorization with respect to the batch yield. So what may be the reason for deviation? If we find out over 6 kgs of blend has remained in the vacuum equipment on the encapsulator, and the potential effect of the deviation on the bioavailability of the batch and the content uniformity had not been considered. So that should be taken into consideration. So this completes manufacturing operation and controls part 1. Thank you.